Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 3 of Public Access with Open Hearth Gaming. My name is Mike. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be the keeper for tonight's session. Bit about Public Access. Public Access is a carved from Brindlewood Bay, a carved from Brindlewood game that's set in the year 2004 in the small town of Deep Lake, New Mexico. And it explores themes of modern urban legends, creepypastas, and it has an overarching story about what happened to this mysterious public access television station that operated in the late 80s and early 90s and then vanished mysteriously in the early 90s. Player characters are called the Deep Lake Latchkeys. They are young adults in their, basically they're in their 20s, who had lived in Deep Lake at some point in their childhood or early teens, moved away, and now are back to investigate what happened to TV Odyssey. That's the game. We're playing with Open Hearth Gaming, which is an online role-playing gaming community. Open Hearth runs about 100 games a month on an open calendar that's free and open to anyone. Folks who join Open Hearth's Patreon do have advanced access to the gaming calendar, so you might have a little easier time getting into games, but it is open to everyone. If you're interested in learning more about Open Hearth Gaming, check us out at openhearthgaming.com. A little bit about myself. I've been playing tabletop role-playing games for a long time. Joined Open Hearth Gaming's precursor organization back in, I want to say, like early 2017 or so, and have been playing with them pretty actively ever since. And it's a great community. I've really enjoyed playing with Open Hearth. Enough about myself. Let's go around the table and do some quick introductions. Since this is session 3, we do have characters established. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know your name, your pronouns, anything you want to share about yourself, and also let us know your character. Let's go clockwise as I see you on the gallery view on my screen here. So let's start with Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay of the she and they variety, and I will be playing Derek Goldberg. He, him are popped collar princeling.
Just adjusting your screen name here.
Oh, I can do that. Don't worry about it. Move on. That.
Cool. Glad to have you, Kay. Stephen, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey there. I am Steven, he, they. Sorry, I am playing Rye, also he, they. Is an alcoholic mess. I mean, let's call it what it is. Author, last time we saw him, he was running into a haunted house. A dead body turned up. And I mean, I said distract her, Thorn, not murder her. I mean, come on. And I've been thinking, I think what I've been channeling for Rye is a very comic version of Hunter S. Thompson. I think that's what I'm channeling for him.
Okay, I can see that. Well, cool. Glad to have you aboard, Stephen. Brandon, would you please introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, hi, Brandon, she and they, playing Thorn, he and they, who is goth mom who absolutely did not murder that lady. Just found her. And hopefully we're gonna be on before we have to explain that situation to the police. Yeah, the situation has just gotten pretty terrifying. is currently in a murder house with the aforementioned alcoholic mess. Pop collar Fritzling, nowhere to be seen.
And then he's nowhere to be seen, and this body mysteriously shows up, Thorn.
I
mean, we'll
It's gonna be your
we'll
first thing, isn't it?
I'll do the recap in a moment. Before we get
But,
any
yeah.
farther, I just want to briefly note that we are using safety tools as part of this game. Specifically, we're taking a layered approach. We're using 3 tools. We're using the open door policy, which means all of us are free to come and go as we please. Anyone can call a break at any time. We are using lines and veils, which means we have called out a number of topics that we either don't want to deal with at all in the game or that we only want to deal with under certain criteria. Which reminds me, I want to pull up my sticky notes. There we are. I've copied our lines and veils onto a sticky note that's floating at the top of my screen, so I will hopefully not take my eye off of it. And finally, we are playing with the X card. The X card is a reactive safety tool, which we can invoke anytime something is happening in the game or at the table that is making us feel uncomfortable, or decide that, someone's introduced a plot element that that you think is off tone and you don't want to go there. Invoke the X card. Say X card. If you're on camera, you can make an X gesture with your arms. That means we're going to pause the game, have an out of character discussion to figure out what we need to fix, and then we'll figure out how to fix it, and then we'll jump back in to the game with whatever needed fixing. That is our super abbreviated safety tools discussion. If you want to know more about safety tools, go back and watch episode 1 of this series where we go into safety tools in quite a lot of detail. But it's the same players here. We're playing with the same tools, so hence the abbreviated version. Any questions on safety tools before we move on? Awesome. Okay, quick recap. So our Latchkeys have been in Deep Lake for about a week, poking around, asking questions about what happened to TV Odyssey. Haven't really gotten too far when they were approached by they're approached by a young person who was about their age, maybe a little younger, whose name is Casey Wilcox. You may have remembered him a little bit when you were younger, when you were living here in the past. Casey brought to you the ongoing unsolved mystery of the disappearance of the Rappaport family about 10 years ago. So that would have been in 1994. The Rappaports was a family of 4 that were living in the house on 18 Escondido Street here in town. And yeah, they seemed to be a pretty happy family. Casey was pretty close friends with their youngest child, a boy named Elliot. And they were friends. Casey also lived like around the corner, and but then all of a sudden one day, just the family was gone. When authorities went in to check out the place, it appeared to be it looked like people stepped out for a minute and then never came back. The house has never really been fully cleared out in the last 10 years. Nobody has successfully bought or sold or rented the place. Although the homeowners association has apparently been keeping up with the exterior. So you did meet the gardener who was mowing the lawn and trimming the bushes and, collecting any wayward mail that still gets delivered there. And while you were there checking it out, Rye decided to walk right in and check it out. That's when the president of the homeowners association, whose name is Patience, what was her surname? Whose name was Patience Head, showed up, started yelling at them, came over, made her displeasure known. But you successfully talked her into letting you into the building if she were there to give you a tour. Of course, Rye had already entered. While you were inside, you poked around. You started looking for. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. It was Thorn and Rye who were at the house in Escondido Street. Derek, meanwhile, Derek had gone over to visit his grandparents who still live in Deep Lake. Derek's grandfather is a former sheriff, now retired. He's been retired for quite a while, and the disappearance of the Rappaport family was his last case before he retired, and he never successfully solved it. So talking with his grandparents and poking around his grandfather's old case files that he had, I guess apparently copied and brought into his home office. Why these files are in your grandfather's house and not in the sheriff's office is another question that has not been answered. Derek discovered to his dismay that his grandfather was actually, at least at the end of his career, was doing some really incredibly shoddy police work. And he also discovered a letter from the state police that was basically offered his grandfather the ability to resign quietly and not get fired. Let's see. One thing I actually don't remember from last week, and I'm going to have to ask you this question, Kay. Were you still at your grandparents' house, or had you gone over to the house in Escondido Street? I'm honestly not remembering.
I think he was still at the grandparents' house, if I recall correctly.
I thought so too. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, because as far as he's aware, I don't think he knows they're at Escondido Street. In fact, he last recalled speaking with them about not going there.
Oh, that's true, because Rye was talking about like acquiring a jackhammer and like jackhammering the basement to
Yes.
look for bodies.
He was under the impression they were all going to go do research bits or look into things or speak to witnesses or people who knew stuff.
We're doing research. We're talking to people who know stuff.
That didn't involve breaking into the house where he had dark visions of a murder door. So, he's at his grandparents enjoying a family cooked dinner.
Okay, awesome.
Or they just finished it. There had been an apple pie. Apple pie had been run out, I believe.
I think that yes, I do recall that. Your grandmother just brought out an apple pie for dessert. So when we last left, the stinger scene was so Patience had been talking with Thorn, and Thorn was trying to basically distract her while Rye continued to search through the house. So I called for a day move, and it was a really bad roll. So Patience decided to try to figure out where that other young man had wandered off to. Walked into the next room, and the next thing you heard was a blood-curdling scream from the dining room. I know Thorn walked in. And Rye, did you run back to see who was screaming, or were you continuing to do whatever you were doing? I was imagining the scene where the two of you run into the room and see what I'm about to describe. But if that's not what you were thinking, I'm
sure. Go ahead. So are we still in day phase?
We are still in day phase for now.
Okay.
We are. Yeah. I think we're still in the day phase, just because. But I'm guessing we're probably going to. I'm going to belay that. I think I'm going to hard frame the next scene, if that's okay with you. But the final scene was. I think the final scene was the two of you walk into the dining room and you see Patience standing there with a look of utter shock and horror on her face, and there is like a chef's knife like stuck in her abdomen. Like it looks like whoever stabbed her missed her heart. But yeah, there's a knife sticking out of her, and she's standing there, but she's bleeding badly. I think, and that was
Thorn,
the
I
scene
said distract her, not murder her.
So I think we're going to open on. So I think we're going to open on. So I think so that was like the flashback, the scenes from last episode. So I think we're going to open this scene. So I think we're going to actually switch briefly to the. I think we are. I think we're going to quickly switch to the night phase. I'm going to start with a. I'm going to open that with a new scene. I think going to be like in front of the house in Escondido Street. But I think we're going to go through the hop onto the Latchkeys. So I think we're going to move to the dusk phase here. So the dusk phase is a kind of a housekeeping phase. So I'm going to tell you what the opening scene is going to be. Or I guess so I think as we fade into the dusk scene, I think when the episode opens, there's an ambulance that's parked in front of 18 Escondido Street. There's a sheriff's car. We see paramedics bringing patients into an ambulance. You know, she's got an oxygen mask on, and there's one of the paramedics is putting a compress onto the knife wound. And the ambulance drives off. Thorn and Rye, you are standing in front of you're standing in front of the you're standing in the yard in front of the house, talking with the sheriff. His name is Bill Hanscom. Bill looks like a small town sheriff that they just called in from Central Casting. He's about 6'3", built. He's got like a rugged, square jaw, short cop haircut. He's wearing he's wearing the gray Stetson, has like the dark green sheriff's department jacket. His badges are, like everything that's brass on his uniform has been polished to the hilt. The shirt of his uniform, it's strategically tight in the chest, so you can tell that this man is ripped. And he's got a little, he's got a little, like he's got the little cop notebook, and he's clearly taking your statement. And I think we'll just do this scene, and then we're gonna. I think we're gonna do this scene, and then we'll. So I guess that's the setup. And I think we're gonna do the night phase. I think we're gonna do the dusk phase right now. But I wanted to like inform this scene first, and then we can either play out this scene or do a hard frame later. I'll leave that up to you. And Derek, if you want to be there, if you want to be in this scene, you can, because I'm going to say your grandfather probably still has his old radio scanner on and keeps tabs on what the sheriff's department is doing. So you do hear so in your grandparents' house, like just as you're like finishing up your pie, you do hear an emergency alert on your grandfather's police scanner that there has been a stabbing at 18 Escondido Street.
And Derek apologizes and, says, sorry, I'm leaving a little early. I'll help with the dishes or whatever. Next time you need the lawn mowed, just tell me to do it. I think is about to say, I think my roommates did something stupid before realizing that's probably not the best idea, given that what they heard was about a stabbing. Bids his farewell, gets in his truck, and heads over.
So, oh, look at the dog.
Oh my god, a dog. Stop everything. Let's look at the dog. It's cute. What's its name?
Peanut.
Oh, Peanut.
Oh,
Peanut's been barking.
Baby.
oh. If we're doing pet show and tell,
I
here's
love
my
that joke.
kitty.
A kitty. Hello,
This is-
kitty.
This is Xena.
Hi, Xena. You are majestic. You panther.
She is very not aptly named because she is the biggest scaredy cat I've ever had in my life. Not a brave bone in that cat's body. Anyway, so let's do the dusk phase now, and then based on what you want to do from here, we can either go back and like play out the scene. We can go back and play out the scene with Sheriff Hanscom, and then move to the night phase. We'll figure it out. This is the first time I've run this game, so we'll just kind of figure it out. So in the dusk phase, the first thing we do are resolve any moves that are resolved during the dusk phase. So my question is, looking at your character's moves, do you have anything that does any character have a move that is resolved at the dusk phase? Thinking that's a no, but yeah, okay. I think that's a no. So my next question is, in the upcoming night phase, do you plan to watch an Odyssey tape? You do have two, because you found one because Rye found one.
So is there any consequence to the Odyssey tape other than like the playing out of the Odyssey tape scenes?
That's basically it. So
Yeah,
if you're
let's watch an
if you're
Odyssey
watching
tape then.
yeah, if you're watching the Odyssey tape is kind of a timer, because the night phase is supposed to be like fast and hard.
Yeah.
We hard frame things. We intercut you taking actions in the night phase with watching with watching the Odyssey tape. Basically, once all of the Odyssey tape prompts have been answered, the night phase is over. Yeah, and I'll leave that to you. And you do have two Odyssey tapes, and I'm just going to tell you. And I don't think I revealed what your second one was. Your second one was called "I Want My Video Beat," which was a tape you found which is a tape you found in Escondido Street.
I think we have to watch the Escondido Street one after what's happened today.
The other question is, do you want to watch it back at your house, or do you want to watch it on that video on the videotape player that you found in Escondido Street? But we'll figure that out.
Derek would demand they go home. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Getting in trouble with the police, being a part of a stabbing. Although Derek probably doesn't say fuck.
It's not involved in the stabbing. I was witness to a stabbing. If you want to talk to the people involved in it, you should talk to Thorn.
So before we move forward, I do want to finish going through the dust questions. Do you wish to answer a question? You can attempt to answer a question here. I don't think
we have enough.
I don't think you quite have enough.
I
don't think you quite have enough. I don't think I have enough clues yet. No. And finally, my next question is, what do you plan to do? What do each of your characters plan to do in the upcoming night phase? I will ask you each in turn. Thorn, what are you planning to do in the upcoming night phase?
And this is like related to solving the mystery, basically, like something that I would.
I mean, you can basically, I mean, the night phase, you can kind of do whatever. It's just that it's going to be fast. It's going to be hard. I'm in control of the night. You're in control of the day phase. I'm in control of the night phase. What you intend to do may not be what happens, but I want to know what your character's intentions are.
Fair. Yeah, Thorn is going to wash the blood out of his clothes and listen to loud music. And try to recenter. Maybe.
Okay, so you're going back. You're going back to your house on Rodenbecker Street.
Yeah, because we're all going to be there to watch the Odyssey tape.
Okay.
That's fine.
Rye, what are you planning to do in the night phase?
What am I gonna do? Like I'm just thinking if this would all make sense. Yeah. So obviously, if this was a mob hit like Derek found out, I mean, proving some of our theories correct. Obviously, I need to go to the seediest bar and get into a fight. Because who is going to have information other than the seediest place?
So you think after you so you think after we convene and watch the tape, you're going to go out and like ask around at the bars?
Yeah, ask around at the bars. That's definitely what I'll do.
Cool. Yeah, we'll probably intercut. I'll probably intercut that scene. Cool. And Derek, what are you planning to do on the night phase?
He is planning to try and use some. Does Google exist in 2004?
I'm sorry, does what exist?
Google. I ask, is the baby? Did Google exist?
I feel like this was still a day, like just when you actually had like other search engines around, like because I recall
Jeeves?
like ask Jeeves. Like I feel like that was a thing.
I was going to say Google was around in 2000. Google was certainly
Like it
around
was
in
around,
2004.
but it wasn't yet like the like
It
The monster.
it was starting to become the
Yeah.
monster. It is,
Yeah.
but Ask Jeeves was still around. Yahoo search was still a thing.
Derek is gonna Google and spend some time doing research, looking into any information he can find about this idea of a third child.
Yes. Okay. That's right, because that's right. Because one thing you found at your one thing when you asked your grandparents about if they had any photographs of the Rappaports, your grandmother said she had one that was taken in it was taken in 94, probably just like a month or two before the Rappaports disappeared, and that showed a happy family of 5. There was a third child.
And when questioned on it, suddenly she got very confused.
Yes. There was a third child in the photo that sure looked like the other kids, but your grandmother got very confused about that.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we're going to so I think we're just going to have like a quick flashback of Thorn and Rye like just answering some basic questions that Hanscom asked. Hanscom like gives you both his gives you both his card and says, basically, like after you go through this, he's pretty he seems pretty convinced that you didn't do this, but nobody has a good idea, but nobody has a good ant. And oh, I'm gonna say one other thing is we do see a brief scene where he's
Actually, I do feel like just because it is right, I do feel like I need to make like a day move here to avoid getting one of us arrested.
okay.
Due to my sheer like, I think the immediately like when you ask some questions, I just say like I don't speak to pigs. Like I think that's just my immediate response.
Ooh.
But you could totally, if you think this is like, yeah, this guy is fucking full of bullshit. He can tell. That's also fair.
Let's see.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to go through I just wanted. So if you would like to,
Yeah, you know what?
if you
Let's
the
just
players
go
want to
on.
go
Let's
back to this,
continue on.
if you want to, okay. I was just going to say,
Right.
so there was a quick scene there where you basically gave a statement, and she never lost consciousness. And Hanscom like asked, like as the paramedics were treating her, he asked her what happened, and her answer was, and she says, "Knife, it just flew out of nowhere. I don't know what happened." And and the cop asks, "Was it either of these? Was it either of these two?" And she says, "No, I don't know what happened." So without so without actually being accused of stabbing her, he just takes her statements, which was, "You didn't see anything. You heard the blood. You heard the blood curdling scream. You came into the room, and she was stabbed." Okay, so we're back at Rodenbecker Street. Um, it's probably, I imagine that you are all kind of shaken up by the events of this afternoon. Um, and you've got these two Odyssey tapes, and you had that Odyssey tape that was, yeah, what was the title of that one? Currently have two. You have one that showed up on your doorstep, and that one is called Happy Jack '06 Duress Signal question mark Pure White Pretext. And the one that you found, also like in one of those classic purple clamshells, was a videotape that is, it's again taped off TV. It's a Sony video cassette, handwritten, "I want my video beat." So which one are you interested? So if you're back at Rodenbecker House, which one are you interested in playing?
I believe we said we were going to do the one that we found at Escondido Street.
That the consensus?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Let me just do a quick review here to make sure I'm running the night phase correctly. My first night phase. I'm going to interrupt and just do one little game rules thing. This doesn't apply yet because nobody has unlocked the ability, but I did want to call out when we are watching an Odyssey tape. I'll be asking you I'll be giving you some general information about and I'll be giving you some general information. We'll be asking you some leading questions, and you'll fill in the details. There's something that's called a signal from the other side, and that is if you're able to incorporate something that happens that you see on the videotape with something that happens like in the real world, that's called a signal from the other side. And if you have marked the sandstone arch on the on the Mask of the Future. If you are able to invoke a signal from the other side, you get to mark experience. Just wanted to toss that out there. So if you want to try to go for a signal from the other side, cool, that's nice. It could be very evocative, but you can't get an experience point for it because no one has yet marked the Sandstone Arch. Make sense? Okay. So let me just, again, let me just hop back and make sure I am doing the night phase correctly. Okay, yeah, you're back at Rodenbecker Street. Yeah, so I guess we'll just start there. The three of you are in the living room. You've got your tape. You know, you've got the old TV and VCR here in your house. What are you doing? Anything you want to do before you start watching the tape? Or just after dinner, you're going to pop in the tape and start a watching?
Such an awkward dinner. Or I guess two people eating dinner. And
Yeah, Derek already ate dinner, and he's
Derek
just
seething.
yeah. Derek is just seriously, what the heck, you guys? And he like just places the photo on the table while you guys eat dinner and storms off to his room and is like, "Let me know when you're done."
Didn't jackhammer the floor. That was what I promised.
No, you just stabbed someone.
If anyone stabbed anyone, it was Thorn.
Nice throwing your housemate under the bus there.
Anyway, while you two were getting in trouble with the law, I found something very strange, which is that there's a theoretical third missing child that people seem to have trouble remembering. Just like people have trouble remembering the Odyssey tapes. And, slams picture on the table.
Oh, right. And I pull from under my coat, which I forgot I had it there. I also found this. It's like a weird version of did you ever of that game Jesus Land?
What?
Jesus Land. You play one of the three kings. You have to avoid getting caught in the Mormon swamp.
No,
they didn't have that.
No.
Weird.
Are you showing it?
Yeah, I'm showing it.
Oh, it's Candyland.
The rest of you can see it's the Candyland game.
It's Candyland, but it's a weird version of Candyland. It's not like the version of Candyland that you either remembered playing as a kid or
Rice family didn't have that game. We had Jesus Land. Candyland was
heretical.
Yeah.
We had Candyland, and this is not right. Okay. We've got messed up Candyland, missing third child, knives flying in the air. Thorn, do you have any goodies to add to the bag?
The VCR is on. Maps. No.
Right.
No, I do not have anything to add. We did get.
Oh yeah, I saw this weird ghost kid too.
I'm sorry, what?
Bearing the lead there.
I mean, I had the board game. I had that in my pocket.
What did the kid look like?
Dirty? I don't know. What do kids look like?
I grabbed the fucking picture. Any of these three?
Oh yeah, 100%. The middle child.
Okay, it looks like that middle kid there.
Is that Elliot or is that the unknown kid?
No, that's Elliot, yeah.
So you're saying you saw the ghost of Elliot?
I mean, yes, I am saying that. I mean, the ghost of Elliot, or maybe there's some sort of HOA cloning conspiracy going on.
Thorn, can you put the videotape in?
Yeah, and here's a thought that's coming up as I'm preparing the VCR.
Wait, of
It
course,
seems
then the clones have turned on their masters, which is how she got stabbed.
I can't believe Ryan's making what I'm about to say sound like a reasonable thing because it is about a ghost, but it seems like a ghost stabbed the HOA president and
Oh yeah, I give you a
why-
wink at that, Thorn. Like that's the story we're going with.
Obviously we didn't
That makes sense.
tell the sheriff that, but why didn't Rye get stabbed by the child ghost? Rye was alone in a room in that house for like a good bit. Did
And
not
tried chasing after it, but the little fucker got away.
get stabbed. Maybe it wasn't that child ghost. Maybe that's what saved Rye. I don't know. Just something to hang out there. Doesn't seem like a safe place, but also we didn't get stabbed by a ghost. Okay.
So you pop the tape in, turn on the TV, you pop the tape in, and you hit play. And you know, there's that little bit of video cassette like of where it's clear that whatever was on this tape had been taped over something else. You don't catch really anything of what that other thing might have been because it goes pretty quickly. You catch the tail end of what looks like a local car commercial, and then it shows like cheesy late 80s like graphics that come up. And it just has the logo like Video Beat. And it's playing it's playing like 80 like upbeat 80s like new wave-ish music in the background. And then it comes to and then you know, like Video Beat with VJ Raygun Rosales. And and so the logo fades away, and the host is there. Raygun Gonzalez is there. He is a Latino guy, probably in his early 20s. He's wearing like Max Headroom style sunglasses. It's kind of got slicked back hair, and he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He says, "And everybody, welcome to I Want My Video Beat. And tonight we got a great lineup tonight. So let's get right into the movies. Let's get right into the videos. All right, the first band up is the Meow Meow Meows." And then he makes like gun, he makes finger guns toward the camera, and there's a super cheesy like laser gun noise that comes in the background. So fades to black, and you get that little video caption on the corner, and it says the Meow Meow Meows, Minneapolis, and the song is called Puss in Boots, Pussin apostrophe Boots. So Derek.
Ja.
So this song is called Puss in Boots by a band called the Meow Meow Meows. They're a funk and R&B band that kind of has the Minneapolis sound. So they kind of sort of sound a little like Prince and the Revolution, but not exactly. And I'm just going to tell you, you have never heard of the Meow Meow Meows. You have never heard of this song, Puss in Boots. Never heard of it. It's a pretty good song, though. What is this song about? You know the title. What's this? What is this song about?
I think it is about a unattainable woman.
And how does the video, and so like, how does the video depict this?
So I think we see this woman, you know, very sexy, Olivia Newton-John-esque kind of look, poofy blonde hair, sharp green eyes that maybe they've like in the bad video editing style, then they've tried to like slit the pupil so it's kind of cat-like. She's in some kind of mini skirted tight dress and like boots that click. And she's kind of, we see scenes of her, you know, roaming in places and turning heads, but just walking with a clear confidence that says, absolutely go fuck off.
And she's kind of like, I mean, she's doing like kind of like, I mean, she's kind of like dressed sort of, but not exactly like a cat.
Oh, it's definitely leopard print is the dress. Just all the cliches.
Cool. Now I think this is going to happen. Now I think, so Rye, you said that you wanted to be going to the bars and like we're going to be asking around, like what, like, so you said you were going to go to like the seediest bar in town and we're going to be asking around. You're
And
muted.
ask about like, you know, who in town like might be doing some of those mass family murders.
To say on the outskirts of town, there is an actual biker bar, which is
Okay.
probably a pretty rough place. I'm going to ask
Yeah,
you,
I
what is
go
the,
in.
what is,
I have my biker blazer on as opposed to my regular blazer. It's leopard print.
let's see. I'm going to ask you, what is the name of this bar?
Oh boy. Let's see. It is yeah, we'll go with Cobra Lounge.
Cobra Lounge.
Let
Okay,
me
this
think.
is now,
Is there anything better I can think of? No, I'll go with that. I can't think of a better name.
you're in the Cobra Lounge. It's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough bar. I'll just tell you that. It's, there's a number of, um, it's mostly, I mean, it's not entirely, it's mostly a lot of guys in there. There's a few women, but it seems to really be it seems to be the kind of place that like motorcycle gang guys will hang out in. There's a few women there, but most people are dressed in leather biker, like they're dressed in like biker gear. There's a few people who aren't, but there's a couple of cars there are a few cars in the parking lot. Mostly it's motorcycles, and it's it's pretty rough in here. It's smoky. It's 2004. Yeah, it's 2004 in New Mexico. Yeah, yeah. People would still be smoking in bars, so it's pretty smoky in there. And you walk in the door, and there's I think there's like heavy metal music playing on the jukebox. A bunch of people playing pool. A lot of people drinking. Um, you walk in. What do you do?
Uh, I go up to the bar and I say, get me a bottle of your whiskey. Make it your shittiest because I don't like to pay for my hangovers.
You're asking for a you're asking for the whole bottle, or you're asking for shots?
Yeah, whole bottle. Whole bottle. It's not a power play to order shots, okay?
Bottle of whiskey. Okay.
Look, Rye has money and has very little sense of how to spend and save. So
Okay. The bartender, the bartender looks at you and says, like the bartender looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and just kind of nods, reaches under the bar, and puts a bottle of, yeah, it's a bottle of Rotgut whiskey. I don't know Rotgut whiskeys, but yeah, it's a brand you've heard. It's a brand you've probably heard of. It's not good, but it'll get you fucked up real fast.
yeah, I look at him and say, so who exactly here is has a reputation for being the most dangerous motherfucker here?
Says, well, kid, you got it. Well, kid, you got a death wish. He
No, I don't got a death wish. I just have faced way scarier things than a bunch of shitty 40-year-old men in biker cosplay. I grew up in this town. I've seen fucking scary shit.
I'm gonna say at your line about 40-year-old men cosplaying as bikers, conversation stops and about 6 pairs of eyes turn to look at you, and they are not friendly. Meanwhile, I think we're gonna cut back to the house. Yeah, we're gonna cut back to the house. And this is earlier, so like this is established earlier, so all three of you are still there watching this tape. So Thorn, the second video, so Puss in Boots ends. It goes back to goes back to Raygun Rosales. And goes back to Raygun Gonzalez, and he talks a little bit more. He like makes some like really corny jokes, some of which were possibly, you're not really sure, but some of them possibly might have been references to like news events of the day from like the late from like 1987 or whenever this was recorded. Um, he then cues up um, the next video, and then says, "All right, all right, and now and so the next one is we just got in from Europe. So this is from Copenhagen." And he does his like finger guns, and there's the cheesy laser guns sound, and fade out from his studio, and it goes back to the name of the band is Copenhagen. And the song is called Pillow Whispering. The video comes up, and it's like intercut with a bunch of, it's one of those like semi-concert videos where they're kind of like on a little outdoor stage, where they're performing this is kind of basically, it's a Euro soft rock song from the 80s. You can tell that they are singing in English, but you can tell I mean, they've clearly got like a vaguely European accent. The city and it's got, several city shots of like, a bridge on a river, and like it's got city shots, but you have never seen any of these monuments or this city. But it feels vaguely European. So what is about this city in the background that this video is taking place in that, tells you that it's, I mean, so describe the city. It's not any city you've ever seen or heard of before, but what's distinctive about it?
Okay. The architecture is like normally if you were looking at music video shots of a European city, there'd be like the architectural style of that particular of one particular city. And you might not notice it if you weren't really looking, but it'll be like houses next to each other, maybe like the style of the street signs are kind of like they're cut and pasted in the same shot from different European cities. So like, it's like this house looks like it's from an identifiable street in Prague, and this one looks like it might be from Amsterdam. This one's like a Tudor style house from England, and they're all together in a way where it doesn't seem out of place until you notice that they're all different styles.
So in addition to the architecture, is there anything else that tells you that is there anything else that's telling you like that this city is just, again, I'll just read the full prompt. The video was shot in a city that the city was shot in a city that does not appear to exist anywhere on Earth, but feels vaguely European. Any other features other than architecture that drive that home?
That make it feel vaguely European, or make it feel like it doesn't exist?
I think the answer to that is either or both.
Okay. Nobody is on a bicycle, and the food that vendors are selling, there's like shots of a market, and there's like food and cultural items that don't belong to any known culture.
What's an example of like what's an example of like a food thing that that seems like really, really weird and out of place, or that you've never seen before? Like I mean, is it like a someone serving like fruits of an odd color and an odd shape that you've never seen before on sticks? Or
Okay, actually, yeah, they're doing something. It's something that's happening with foods that don't go right. What's coming to me is like a battered and deep fried whole apple. Like you said, there's someone who is taking apples, putting them on sticks, battering them, and fully frying them, and putting them out onto plates for happy children.
if I could throw a tail into that, just to like, and that's not what the song is about at all. It's just like this kind of like, the song is pillow whispering, but this is clearly just normal. It's supposed to be like normal street scenes. Like, I mean, everybody in the city serves like, serves deep fried whole apples on a stick. That's a totally normal thing.
Yeah, it's what's kind of playing in my mind and trying to turn it weird is when I heard Copenhagen, the first thing that came to mind is this really bad monster movie, Reptilicus, that's shot in Copenhagen. And there's like this really long extended scene in the middle of it that's basically just like a tourism ad of different shots of Copenhagen that are really beautiful, that aren't really related to the movie. So that's what I love it by.
Okay, I love it. So Kay, what are you doing?
So Derek is on a computer trying to research or find any record or information about the family, more specifically this third youngest child.
Okay. Okay, you're doing some computer research. I'm going to say yes, that's absolutely going to be a meddling move. You're going to be doing via computer research, but can you give me a little more flavor as to like the kind of websites you're going to, kind of what you're seeing on the screen, what the viewers at home might be seeing?
Yeah, so I think he starts off on Google, and then we start seeing these websites that are like background check investigator, and we see him kind of putting in a credit card and paying for this to like access and go into people that sort of maybe have information, old, hospital records that we see him using this new residence ID to log into, even though technically he's not at this hospital, kind of doing semi-compromising things to get this information.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, this is definitely a meddling move. Do you think I can see this being reason? That's reason's probably most likely. I could see doing composure if you
Yeah, no,
want to make a good argument.
reason.
Okay.
I think reason's a good one.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and roll with roll plus reason, which I think for you is +1.
So that's a 9.
9. Okay. So on a meddling move, on a 9. Move on a 9. You okay? On a hit, you find a clue. Tell you what it is. On a 7 to 9, there's a complication. Let me take a look at the clue list here. Okay, I think what you're going to find. Say that you are not able to find any apparent records of a third child belonging to the Rappaports, with one exception. You find a reference to, I just want to make sure I got the kids' names correctly. Was Elliot, Abigail was the girl that was established. You find a reference to an Elizabeth Rappaport, age 8. Um, again, you're like going through, you find a reference to an Elizabeth Rappaport from Deep Lake Summer Camp 93. You just like, as you were like looking through there, you just like found a web page that was a photograph of um you know it looks like it. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. You found like an Angel Fire page um that has just still photographs that were uploaded of a what looks like a small spiral bound, like it's a Deep Lake Summer Camp. It's their summer camp yearbook, Summer Camp 93. And it's got a list of all the campers, and one of the names is Elizabeth Rappaport. But when you like go through and it's got like pictures of it, and so on this website, it's got pictures of several of these pages from the yearbook. Although most of them are like, in a lot of these yearbooks, it was like, Xeroxed, and there were like places where you could like paste photographs. For the most part, those places where you would paste photographs are empty. There are no photographs there. Except for the last page. which just has several, and the last page the title is was called Final Memories, and it's had like four pictures, and the four pictures are all of the night sky. And again, this is like a fairly low resolution photograph of a page of a photograph, so you don't actually have the physical things.
Yeah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. The picture that showed 3 children showed a younger child. So this would mean 4 Rappaport children.
Like she'd be like 8. I was thinking she was age 8. Elliot was 10, and Abigail was the oldest. So you knew of Abigail and Elliot.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is a girl that was younger than Elliot.
Okay, sorry. Okay, yes. The way it was described before, I thought, okay, so this is the third. So this is
Yeah,
okay.
this is the third.
Elizabeth.
This is the third child. Yeah,
Yes,
is
and
younger. Is young. Yeah, it would have been Elliot's little younger sister.
Younger sister. Okay. Um. So I'm gonna print this out. The name of the listing as well as the final nights thing with the sky images.
Put this on
And
the. And let me put this on the clue list. Clues. It's going to be I'm just going to read what I typed. So, website photos of a printed Deep Lake Summer Camp '93 yearbook. I'm going to put yearbook. And the list of the 8-year-olds included the name Elizabeth Rappaport. And there were no photographs in the. Again, these were photographs of a photo album that you found on a website. And there were no photos that were pasted in except for the last page, which included 4 photos of the night sky.
yeah, so I think yeah, he prints this out and is like, okay, we need to talk to Casey about this and bring this up and see if it does anything. And
Okay,
we'll go to try and share this information with Thorn and Rye.
got it. So, let's see. So I'm just trying to remember who I asked for. Let's see. I asked Derek. I asked Derek for the
I
first
haven't
one. I
asked
asked
one.
Thorn. Okay, so Rye, and again so again we're intercutting to like the 3 of you. We're back to like the 3 of you watching this video. So the third video comes up. This video is from a band called The Ulterior, a new wave band, and they're featuring their song "Saturday You and Me." Thing is a little off about this band, The Ulterior. What is it?
I think so that yearbook that Derek found, it had no photos in it, right?
The the yearbook that Derek found on the web,
Yeah.
it had no photographs of people at all. It was like one of those, it was like one of those cheesy, like summer, like end of like a 6 week summer camp, like yearbook thing that was, printed on cardstock and like held together with like the wire bound where you're supposed to like, sign things. There's like nothing personalized in it at all, except for the last page had 4 photographs of the night sky. But like printed in the
I
listing.
think I definitely know what this is then. I think that like as this Saturday You and Me plays, it like keeps flipping through all these scenes that you would expect in a music video, but there's no one there. It's just like the music's playing, the song singing, we see instruments, we see like an empty table that has a Saturday breakfast on it, no one's there. Like it's just the series of scenes where you expect to see people, but they're just gone. All we hear is the singing. And in this really, well, I guess what is new wave here?
What's that?
What is new wave? I don't really know musical movements.
Oh, okay. So yeah, new wave. It was so new wave music example bands would be like New Order or
I'm not going to recognize any of these.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
would a happy song be completely
It'd be
inappropriate?
it'd be happy, upbeat, had a lot of generally had like early electronica.
Okay, like it's a really upbeat song, but it's just like there are just all these like weird still lifes where you expect there to be people. And then I think finally the final image just ends on a night sky that matches up with that image of the night sky that Derek came across. Like I think after all these images of like scenes empty of people, we finally end on that image of the night sky.
So I captured that as the music plays with slice of life scenes, but with no people whatsoever. It ends on an image of the night sky. It was oddly upbeat music to the somewhat disturbing imagery. So, at the Cobra Lounge, there are like 6 pairs of eyes looking at you, and none of them are friendly. After you after you just accused these people of not being real bikers, but instead being like 40-year-old cosplayers. What do you do?
What do I hope to accomplish here now that I've done this? Yeah, I turn around, I take a shot, I pour myself a shot of this cheap whiskey, down it, and I say, I went to sleep every night being told that I was going to burn in hell for what I am. Fuckers. For 16 fucking years, Now, which of you assholes want to tangle?
Okay. They are absolutely going to take you up on if you're basically challenging
Yeah,
them
I
to
guess
a
I'm
fight.
making the night move here.
You are 100% making a night move here. So what are you intending to do here? I mean, obviously a fight is going to happen. What's your intent with this fight?
Like initially I came out to question these people. Like that was my initial thing. But then I got weirdly aggressive. um
I was going to say you came to it seems like you came to a biker bar to pick a fight.
yeah, like you need to pick a fight. You need to pick a fight to establish your dominance. That's how it works.
Okay. So what
Like
is
that's
your
what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to establish my dominance with these bikers by picking a fight with one of them.
okay? So your goal is to like what be accepted by them, to be respected by them.
Yeah, to be respected by them.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Maybe
I
see
can
if
work with
any of
that.
them are up for a trip to the public restroom. Who knows? I mean, after the fight.
Got it.
But we'll settle on the fight first.
Oh, okay. Okay. What
Sorry,
are you?
this is quickly Rise just self-destructing in the background while other people are doing stuff this
Yeah,
night,
it's
it
sure is what
seems.
it seems like. So basically, so your goal here is to try to get these bikers to respect you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay. What are you afraid of what are you afraid of going to happen if things don't go right?
I mean, I'm afraid that my body's going to be knifed and dumped in a field somewhere. But it's worse somehow, so let me know.
I was going to say, yeah, it's hmm. Well, you went with death, so it's kind of hard to be worse than that.
I mean, there are things that could be worse, like you know,
I was going to
Derek
say
and
it's
Thorn get like a severed finger in the mail and letting them know that like it's not even for the ransom. They're just gonna send severed body parts of mine to them every now and then because I pissed them off that much, you know. If
okay.
I'm to
Yeah.
spitball how it's worse.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was a lot harder than I was going to go. So sure, I like that. Um, okay. Um, so yeah, I think what could happen is you're gonna be dead and dismembered.
Okay.
You can choose to back down here or you can go through with it.
Now I'll go through with it.
Okay. Well then, this is a fight, so you're clearly rolling with vitality.
Yeah, where did you put the information for the new roller?
Oh, it's on the info tab.
Oh, okay, you put it over in the info tab. I
In
see.
the info tab where it says alternate dice roller.
Okay. I'll go there because I guess that's where everybody else is gonna be tonight. Steven or Rye. Uh, let's see. I believe my vitality is 0.
That's what it looks like.
Yep. Self-destructive tendencies.
I was gonna say, is there anything in your little corner? Is there anything in your corner of the house that you have that you could conceivably use to
Hmm.
help you here?
Hmm. No, I'm just gonna roll this flat.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 4. Great.
Okay. So I think what happens is, you know, you tell them what you thought. You tell these guys what they thought of you, and they say, hey, and you know, they look at each other and they nod because this is not their first rodeo. They toy with you in fighting for a little bit, where they let you try to get in a couple of punches, but maybe they even let you land a couple, but then eventually one grabs you, like two of them like grab your arms, and another just starts like pummeling you, and yeah, and you get dragged outside, and yeah, you get dragged outside, and
Yeah, we
I
can
think the
veil
view.
at that point.
Yeah, we're gonna veil. I was gonna say one of them draws a really wicked looking knife, and we're gonna veil it there.
Let's make it a machete. Like I am getting dismembered off camera.
So I'm thinking you might want to be putting. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna
I'm
get
gonna mark the
dismembered.
sandstone arch.
Going to mark the sandstone arch. Okay.
And let's see what happens. I get it, but like I succeed, but there's a cost or something.
Yep. So that's going to bump it up to the 7 to 9, and let me read the move here. So on a 7 to 9, you do what is intended, or you hold steady, but there's a complication or a cost. I'm going to say you go a couple around. I'm going to say that yeah, there's a bar there's a you know there's a bar fight, and they decide, these six guys like realize that 6 on 1 is like, you know you weren't like yes, you insulted them, but they aren't ready to kill you. Yeah, go
I
ahead
mean,
and
I'd like
go
to
ahead
think
and
I do
tell me.
well. Like
I was gonna say you do. No,
I take that whiskey bottle and I just smack it hard over someone's head. And this is like it's a full whiskey bottle, near full whiskey bottle. So it doesn't break, it just like clunks into one of their heads.
okay. I was going to say, go ahead and describe the scene. You're going to, I think the fight is, I think you put up enough of a fight and establish yourself as someone that, maybe they don't actually really want to fuck with. Yeah, go ahead and tell us what this fight looks like. You're gonna get I mean, you're gonna be walking away with some, you're probably gonna be walking away with some pretty nasty bruises, but no one's going to get killed, and in the end they seem to hold you into some respect. What is it like? Give us a little flavor of what this fight looks like.
Yeah, I think that like I smack the guy that comes at me over the head, another sends me flying over the bar. I come back up with a shattered glass that I then like start like I'm bleeding from this hand. I'm holding the shattered glass in, but I am using like a knife and cutting up a few guys until finally I sit down breathing back at my seat, take the whiskey bottle, which I specifically said was unsmashed, take a swig from it, and say, fuck, okay, I take back the part about the cosplaying.
And at that they start laughing. One of them takes the whiskey bottle out of your hand, takes a swig, and they pass it around. One of them smacks you in the back pretty hard. Like, okay, you know how to handle yourself. You know how to handle yourself. How do you feel right now?
Feel good. This was good. Like I was feeling pretty lousy. Like there was no jackhammer in the city. Like I was still pretty angry about that. But then like I got into the fight. It's like
Okay.
that's how you handle your emotions, right?
Yep. I'm
Like
am
you like this person doesn't realize you like them despite how much you keep teasing them and insulting them. So you have to go out and pick a fight with some bikers.
okay. I am going to give you the condition 2 black eyes.
Okay. It's fair. Oh, I feel like I'm the kind of guy that wears inside night sunglasses anyway. Oh, 2 black guys. No, 2 black eyes.
2 black eyes. Yes.
Who knows? Maybe that's who I meet here.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh, and
mean,
by the
and I
way,
guess
for
if we're talking now, I say, now what about this fucking what was the name of the family?
the Rappaports,
Yeah, what about this fucking Rappaports I'm hearing about? The whole family fucking taken out. Do you know who in the town would have the kind of that would be willing to do a whole fucking family killing?
um, so I think I'm just looking at my clues list. I'm just gonna say something out of character. Most of the clues for this particular mystery are kind of written from the perspective that you're like poking around the house and finding stuff. So there's not a lot here that are like specifically for information. Um, I am going to say, so I'm going to let you, so let's go ahead and roll a meddling move here since you're now talking to your biker friends. And I think I think I'm going to name one of the, I think you're talking, this, you know what? Let's describe one of the bikers who you're actually talking to. What's his name? I think we're going to create a new NPC.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Grinder. Grinder Gordon.
Grinder Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put him on the list. So he's the one who's talking. He's the one who's talking with you. Why don't we come back and finish that conversation? Because Brandon hasn't had any spotlight time. So Thorn, so meanwhile, back at the house in Rodebecker Street, you are continuing to watch the Odyssey tapes. This is the and anything you wanted to do here. We're basically on the last prompt. I'm going to do one final prompt. We're going to do the last prompt. I'll let you do a reaction, and then the night phase is going to end.
Yeah, I think Thorn is well, Thorn's already done a lot by this time. So I think besides listening to the slow parts of death metal albums, trying to not think too much about the HOA president whose blood who this was on Thorn's hand, or maybe stopped from
Helping her out and pulling her out, and okay.
dying. And I think Thorn is having trouble concentrating, or not, just having trouble not thinking of that, and is going to go for later that evening a long walk, like stop by the convenience store, get a shitty coffee, and some jerky, or some ho-hos, let's say, and like sit down out front of the Circle K. Let's say it is a Circle K. Smoking
Strange
cigarettes.
things are afoot.
Drinking coffee, eating some junk food, and maybe chatting with anyone who comes his way.
Okay. Are
Yeah,
you
that's
are
it.
you invoking your move Strange Things Are Afoot at the Circle K?
Yeah, well, there's nothing in for this immediate situation. I was just using that
mean-
as a touch.
Got it. I mean, we're going to see this. I'm imagining this is like a reaction to the final video, and I'm trying to think. Everyone has narrated one of the videos, correct? And Brandon, I think you've thus far I think you've gotten the least screen. I think you've gotten the least spotlight time thus far. Actually, let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to ask Kay. I'm going to give the final prompt to Kay, and then we're just going to have a brief follow up with Thorn's reaction to the final scene. That's what probably prompted him to take the walk. So I'm going to ask Kay the final prompt on this Odyssey tape, which is Ray Gun Gonzalez comes up again and says makes a few more corny jokes and tries out a couple of breakdancing moves and comes up and says, and our last video of the evening is Pyramid. Here's their song, Embrace the Void. Pew, 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 pew. So it fades to black, comes back up again with a little white caption in the lower left corner that says, Pyramid, Embrace the Void. This music video features neither music nor a video. What does it show?
I think it's just a pyramid with an eye in the middle.
Is there any sound effect?
Nothing. Just absolute silence. A bone-chilling lack of sound.
The image of the eye of the pyramid, does it look like is it film of a does it look like it's a film of an actual object? Is it an image? Is it cartoony? Like
It looks
what
like
does this
a photograph of one of the pyramids, and no matter who is watching, that eye is always your own. So even though the three of us are watching this, for each of us, it's Thorn's eye, it's Derek's eye, it's Rye's eye.
does the eye blink?
No, it just is open and gaping. It's maw. It's eye maw. You.
And you said the eye looks like the eye. It looks like one of your own eyes, whoever
Yeah,
is
it looks
viewing.
like one of your own eyes. But it's glassy. It's clearly dead.
That is super freaking creepy. So Brandon, you're out at the Circle K. Did you want to invoke your move and find something at the Circle K that you want to add to your corner of the house? Because that's what your move does.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is something that could be made useful. So I will add, I said ho-hos, so I'm gonna stick with it. It's gonna be a pack of ho-hos.
Box of ho-hos.
Box. Yeah, meta thinking
Okay.
that we
That,
a
hey, that
child
could
ghost.
hey,
Children love ho-hos.
that could totally come in handy. Okay, this ends the night phase. Everyone got to do a move. We've moved the story a little bit.
Oh, should I not actually make that? That's okay.
Yeah. Once we do the fun, yeah, it's basically everyone gets to roll basically one move. I think I'm going to add. I think we're going to add Gordon as a. I think Gordon's probably going to be a recurring side character now. And we may be able to incorporate him in a scene in later, but yeah, once we've done all the prompts, all players have gotten to do at least one move. We're the night phase ends. Now we've gone kind of long. Let's take a break here. Let's come back right on the hour. And we're back. So during our break, I was rereading how to run the night phase, and I didn't quite run it right. Should have been a much more faster, should have been much more fast paced, should have been much punchier, and I shouldn't have done the intercut between watching the video and doing something else. That should have been different phases. So I know for next time. So I didn't run the night phases the way the game's intended. So we'll figure it out for next time. Live and learn. So we are now on to the dawn phase. Because the night is over. So we're gonna do the dawn. We're gonna answer the dawn questions. So first and foremost, we still not resolved a mystery. So let's just go in character keeper order here. So, Rye, did you receive a signal from the other side?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. So mark an XP for that. Did you deliver a chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past?
Yep.
Or did?
And I also cut loose for
And you
once.
also cut loose for once. So yeah, mark 3 experience points for mark 3 experience points. So my question now is, do you want to change up your two optional? Do you want to change up your two dawn questions, or you want to keep
Yeah,
those?
I'll change them up, and you can ask other folks while I look
Okay.
at them.
Thorn, did you resolve a mystery? The answer to that is no. Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
No.
Okay. Were you vulnerable with someone? I think so. Okay. Derek, okay, we did not resolve a mystery. Did you go out of your way to connect with Deep Lake?
So I guess what are we considering Deep Lake?
The town, the people?
I'd say yes.
I say, yeah, you had the extended scene with your grandparents. So yeah, I'll give you that. So take an XP for that. Were you vulnerable with someone?
I think so. I think
Yeah, I
I
can
was
say
vulnerable with the family.
yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And going back to Brandon, if you would like to say yes to were you vulnerable with someone,
I was just thinking about it. I realized that that included previous sessions, kind of, or the previous. We really only had one day.
Oh yeah. This is back. We're looking back all the way to when we set these questions. So this is like the last couple. So this is like the last couple of sessions.
Yeah, Thorn hasn't had any like extended scenes of vulnerability, but I think there have been moments
I think there've
around
definitely
the
been.
other latchkeys that are like wouldn't have happened around other people. So call that
I, I
vulnerable.
I think you're right. So go ahead and take that one. And again, looking back to the past couple of sessions, did you go out of your? I'm trying to think. Had you gone out of your way to do any reconnection with Deep Lake?
I guess Thorn spent a good amount of time in convenience store parking lots, which is a place Thorn used to spend a lot of time. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take that one. Everyone's got 2 or 3. So yeah, go ahead and so I'm gonna go hit a second check on your XP track. So yeah, go ahead and uncheck your Dawn questions, and if you want to change them up, now would be the time. And let's see, did we have any unresolved key questions? No. Only one key has been turned, but that was Sandstone Arch, and that doesn't have any questions associated with it. Let's see here. Okay, and we have completed the dawn phase. We are back to the day phase. I think it's the next day. It is the next day in Deep Lake. You've watched your first Odyssey tape. Oh, one other game mechanic thing I do want to mention about the Odyssey tapes. Just about every I think it's every mystery. If it's not every mystery, it's just about every mystery. You are going to find a place that has a VCR and TV. Usually, when you watch an Odyssey tape at a place other than the house on Rodenbecker Street, there's usually some like special stuff that can happen. Might be good, it might not be so good, but there's usually like extra effects when you watch an Odyssey tape at a place other than the house on Rodenbecker Street. Just wanted to toss that out there. So if you were to watch a tape on the house in Escondido Street, you know, in addition to just doing the normal Odyssey tape, something else is going to happen. That's true of mysteries in general. Just wanted to toss that out there just to make it just to make you the players aware of that. Your characters certainly wouldn't know that, at least not at start. Okay, it is the next day. What are your plans for the day?
Oh boy, I mean, I feel like so I have Grinder Gordon now. Does like I feel like I have someone who I could ask to like sledgehammer a basement with me, since Thorn won't.
Oh my god.
I didn't say I won't sledgehammer a basement with you. I said it's not time to sledgehammer a
I
basement.
mean,
with
I
you.
think that's not what Gordon says.
I said it wasn't time to sledgehammer a basement with
Yeah,
you.
I think Gordon says it is time.
Gordon just says yes.
I don't entirely disagree with Gordon.
Derek, he has a couple things he wants to do, but one of which is he wants to call Casey and ask him if he knows anything about Elizabeth.
Okay. Elizabeth. I'm sorry, who's like?
Oh, are we doing that scene right now?
I was going to say. I was going to say. I was going to say we could. So you want to do that? You like that? That seems like a good place to. That seems like a good place to start. You're giving Derek. You're giving Casey a call.
Okay.
Or you want to drop by, or how do you want to handle that?
You know what? If he does know where he is, he'd drop by. He's mentioned. I think he has mentioned what he has found to both Ryan Thorne and asked if either of them want to come with him, or both. You know, he said, "Listen, this is the trail I found. There's this weird other child. They're in this picture. There's this record of them, but no one seems to know them. I'm going to talk to Casey."
Oh, Rye's gone. Rye's
Okay,
gone.
Rye's gone. Does Thorne?
Yeah.
If not, it's
Um,
okay.
No, I was just trying to like Rise. Yeah, it's already gone to the house. I think we should. Yeah, let's meet up with Casey and then get some supplies. Because I think we're just gonna find Rye pounding on a concrete floor with his fists.
I hate that you're right. So yeah, he'd reach out, you know, just message to Casey, "Hey, we're gonna swing by and have some questions, yada yada."
Okay, I think we'll just cut to. So yeah, I think we'll
Little
cut
do
to.
you know what? I found a bear to help me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and maybe different kind of pounding on a concrete floor.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind. But anyway, I think we're gonna cut to the. I think we're gonna cut to you're at Casey's place. So Casey is renting an apartment. I'm sorry, did we?
I always said Casey was staying with their parents.
Casey was staying with their parents. Yes, yes, yes. Casey was staying with Casey is still living with their parents. So yeah, you're at the so yeah, you're at Casey's house. I'm gonna say it's a weekday. His parents are probably his parents are probably still working, so he's got the day off. I don't know what Casey does. We'll figure that out. Yeah, you're at Casey. You're like sitting around in you're in Casey's living room. And
I mean, I think Casey's still basically like a like teen, right? Like, well,
there's
not
early.
teen, like early 20s at most.
Yeah, Casey's like 22.
Yeah.
Casey's like
I mean, he might
22.
still be like a forever college student. I don't know.
Maybe he's taken some classes at the community college, but I don't think he's finished. And it's summer.
Yes.
So yeah, you're in Casey's living room. I'm just imagining the scene. So like Derek and Thorn, you're kind of like the three of you are kind of like sitting on pieces of furniture, and you've put some of your evidence that you found on like the coffee table, and you're all looking at it.
Yes, and I think he says, you know, does the name Elizabeth ring any bells to you?
Elizabeth. Elizabeth Rappaport. And he kind of like looks off into the distance with this like look of kind of far away concentration on his face. And he then says, I don't, the name doesn't sound unfamiliar, but I can't place, I don't remember him having a sister, but and again, he seems to be very hesitant. Ultimately, Casey says that he has no memory of Elliot having a younger sister, but at the same time, thinks maybe he should have a younger sister, and why can't he remember her?
All right. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Hey, that's and he's got this look on his face where he looks vaguely disturbed by this information.
Hey, don't stress yourself out about it. We'll figure it out and we'll come back.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, let me know what you find.
We will. And I'm gonna look at Thorn as we kind of leave. This is getting more disturbing. First, I didn't say this in front of Rye because I kind of didn't want to assess with Rye, but there was a phone call, a threat, someone named Eddie, and now we also have this missing child, Elizabeth, that people can't remember. But we seem to know of her, and when we look, we don't get this. It's something wrong, right, Thorn? It's not just. It's something wrong.
It sure isn't right. Good call about the phone call. Wait, the actual mob is involved?
I don't know if they're actually the mob, but there was a vague accent, and the gentleman's name was Eddie, and there was some money problems.
Wow. That is oh, that's almost taken me off the track too. But unless it's a mob ghost, I think it's yeah, we should focus on the house.
Yes, it's a mob ghost that's haunting the house.
Yeah.
Thorn, I know you,
go ahead.
and I feel like they're like walking towards the house at this point, because it's only a few blocks away, or not even a bit away. I know you dress very alternatively. But do you believe in alternative things?
Like I don't not believe in alternative things. You know, it's a look, it's a something of a lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't be here checking into this house, into this station if I wasn't convinced there was something a little bit bigger. I can't define what that is, but yeah.
So you won't try to have me certifiably dealt with when the reason I knew about the door is when I was speaking with Casey. The whole reason I'm here this summer, I was on those boards, is I saw something like a vision or a prophecy, but it's not like it's John the Baptist or Jesus. It's dark and unpleasant. And it was that door, and it was dripping with blood, and there was a voice that was of nightmares that called out for unspeakable things. That's why I insisted, despite the fact that it wasn't at first directly related to the videos, that we take part in investigating this.
Whew. Well, I think I get why you didn't tell us about that. But yeah, things are
Rye,
getting
you'll be
weird
upset.
now. That I think I believe you. I have some books maybe that we could look at if we survive this house today.
All right. And that's why I came back to Deep Lake and this stuff, because I have a plan and a life. I'm about to start. I should be starting a life, and I need this dealt with and closed and it all to go away before I can go back to that life. So that's why I'm here.
I think that's really admirable. You have something that you're holding on to that hard. That's don't lose that. That's special. And yeah. Hopefully we can solve this, get you on that life.
Thank you.
Going to I'm just going to toss a game mechanics thing here. I love this conversation. Super cool. I don't want to stomp on it. I just want to mention. So Derek's got a couple of conditions now. There is a move called the nostalgic move, which is basically if you wax nostalgic about something that takes you back. Now, you can clear. You can use that to clear conditions. That's there to. This move is here to like help flesh out your character's backstory. If you want to change up some of your takes you back to like do things differently because you like brought up some because Kay, you brought up some pretty interesting and some pretty some pretty deep background stuff. If you want to change up what takes you back to like take that into consideration, that was a great move. It's just I'm not sure how it triggers because you weren't really yeah, I want to do my best to try to play this game the way that, like rules as written because that seemed if we were playing another Car from Brindlewood game that would definitely have been the vulnerable move where you were opening up about your past which would certainly let you clear a condition mechanically but
I think even in the context of that move, it seems like it doesn't it's talking about something that makes you nostalgic. So not even necessarily about the nostalgic thing. And I think where Thorn just got taken was to a time when they maybe had a clearer idea of like what they wanted to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I also don't see any takes you back that would connect to any of this.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if I may, I will get rid of Shaken Up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm just gonna say because that was a lovely
Maybe
but yeah, I think that was a lovely role playing moment and yeah, I think that's gonna trigger yeah, I think that's gonna trigger the move even though it's not one of the ones listed. You were definitely talking about your history. And yeah, go ahead and clear one of those.
I will get rid of Very Sad.
Okay. Let me just take a look at that move one more time. If you're not the latchkey waxing nostalgic, you also stumble on a clue relevant to an active mystery. So yeah, so Derek was the one who was going on about that. Thorn, in this I think this is definitely the nostalgic move that triggered. So you stumble across so in this conversation, you stumble across a clue relevant to an active mystery. What did you come across in this conversation or over the course of this conversation?
Yeah, we're walking from Casey's to the Rappaport house. So something in between those two places that I'm stumbling on.
Or if you want to say this conversation took you to the house and you're like walking around the grounds, that would also absolutely work.
Yeah. I was all right. One, I don't have a great thought, but the first thing that came to mind was like a like wet concrete with a handprint and a kid's name in it. That's the youngest child, but it doesn't really tell us anything new. It's just a thing that already exists. But
If you'd like, I can. If you want to, I can. If you want to, I can give you one of the clues from the mystery if you're having a hard time coming up with one.
let me know if this works. Like in a patch of grass that like hasn't really been mowed because there was something there that the grass was like growing around and it just like wasn't something you could ride a mower over. Thorn like brushes his foot against a like a memorial marker for the third daughter that has like a date of death.
Ooh. You mean like an actual little gravestone? The
Like a
kind that's like
little-
flesh on the ground, or like
Yeah, maybe not like a gravestone, but just
like the kind of
I don't
memorial
know
you would
why
put
that
in
would
your
be there.
like the kind of thing you put in your own yard.
Yes, which doesn't
Okay.
seem like it's a real thing, but that's my best thought right now.
Okay.
It is a thing. Sometimes people will have like little benches in their yard and like little rocks or rock gardens that have like a special contemplative place in it. It's a little more typical again when you lose a child than with adults.
So like a concrete bench with the name Elizabeth on it. That the sort of thing, or I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
just spitballing
something
here.
something like related to like what maybe like let's say it's a marker like marking the favorite spot that you need to play. With a and it has a handprint in it. Maybe like set into the concrete. It's like one of those plaster casts of a handprint. This is a little memorial.
I wrote that down as a concrete marker with handprint and name Elizabeth in the side yard. Okay.
And I think
So
we get to the door.
I was gonna say, so you are at the house. Do you want to poke around out? Do you want to poke around the yard? You want to go back inside?
Uh, I think there's a knock to the door. Rye, are you in there?
Is that where we cut to
I think we're gonna cut. I think we're gonna cut to wherever. I think at the knock on the door, Rye, are you in there? I think we're gonna cut to wherever Rye is now.
I mean, I am in the basement. Like maybe this is just before they get here if they're getting up to other stuff. But I
You're in
have
the basement.
been
You are in
yeah,
the basement of the house. Okay.
yeah, over in the basement of the house. I'm going with Grinder and a couple of
Okay.
sledgehammers because apparently jackhammers don't exist in this city.
Okay.
There was
So
a
you.
city ordinance against jackhammers.
So I think what we're gonna see is I think we're gonna see the like Rye, you in there? I think what we're gonna see is the caption on the screen, which was 45 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I assumed.
Um, so you and Grinder have shown up, and yeah, you've each got you've picked up a couple of sledgehammers. You've let yourself in the house. So it's in the kitchen. There is a there in the kitchen. There's a door to the
Oh, we can't
basement,
go
and
through the basement. I thought there was a blue door that leads into the basement.
it's from within the house.
Oh, okay.
It's a door that leads to the basement, but it's from within the house.
Okay.
This house doesn't have a bulkhead. To enter the basement,
Okay.
you got to go through the house. So you went into the kitchen, and yeah, there's like when you walk through the dining room, you know there's still blood stain. There is still blood stain on the floor from where patients had been stabbed the previous day. Um, and yeah, there's a green interior door with a shiny brass doorknob that seems to lead to the basement. And you head on down to the basement. Let me read you the description. Uh, Basement. So the basement is unfinished. The ceiling is just barely 6 feet tall. So, um, you know, tall people definitely have to stoop in order to prevent them from hitting their heads on the floor joists. Um, Bare concrete floor, bare concrete walls. Um, Stacks of U-Haul boxes are just kind of scattered on the floor, and there is a disassembled Christmas tree in one corner. Something about the basement makes you think that the kids were terrified to come down here. What was it?
Um, see if they were terrified. Um, because it's like I'm thinking here like how I know not just that I find it scary, but that I know they were terrified. Um, I think that yeah, you know what? I'm just thinking now, this is 80s, 90s. I think that well, these kids are in the 90s. I think that there were like at the I think that there is straight up the remnant of a Home Alone style trap that the kids had set up at the top of the basement stairs in order to stop anything from coming up from the basement. You know, it's like a paint can on a rope that they had set up to like take out anything that might be sneaking up the stairs during the night.
Okay. Um, so you've come down here with so you and Grinder have come down here with sledgehammers. Are you actually are you actually going to try to smash up the floor down here, or have you come down here for something else?
I mean, it can be both, but we were actually going to smash up the floor.
Okay.
Like,
So okay. So why don't we do that? I think trying to like smash up the floor without being noticed is going to be a day move. Um,
oh, it won't be a metal move to investigate?
that's true. Well, I mean, if your middling move to investigate I mean, that would be like poking through the U-Haul boxes and whatnot.
Well, yeah, but then you're never like, when are you ever making vitality to metal then? I mean, I'm just throwing it out
No,
there. It's okay.
No, I'm just I'm just looking at the clues here and trying to think what we might turn up by smashing through the floor.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm throwing a lot of curveballs here.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to be yeah, I honestly didn't expect people to be smashing oh, okay. Got it.
I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
you can always
No,
you
no,
can
no.
yeah.
No, I get this. No, I get it. I actually have something. Um, so okay, yeah, you're gonna be yeah, you're gonna start smashing up the floor.
Yeah, and Rye has to take off his jacket and sweatshirt for this. Get down to his undershirt.
Yeah, I think Grinder is wearing yeah, I think Grinder's just wearing I think he's just wearing that leather vest.
Yeah.
Takes that off and he's not wearing a t-shirt under it. Um anyway, yeah, I guess this will be a meddling move. You're poking around down here with sledgehammers. Sure, why not? When you are search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise gather information, describe how you're doing it and roll with an appropriate ability. Sounds like you are rolling with you've sufficiently described. Go ahead and roll with vitality.
Okay. I mean, I have self-destructive tendencies written in here as a name already, and I think I'll just get rid of the self. That's a 10. You see, you should
Nice.
just let Rye do all the investigating. I'm great at this.
Okay. So I think what happens is the two of you are like tapping on the floor with the sledgehammers to like try to see if there's like what's solid and what might be something hollow under that, and you find a place that sounds kind of hollow. And now that you're looking at it, it looks like this section of the floor might like the concrete's just it looks like this is a patch to the floor. This is like looks like a really good place to like start smashing. And sure enough, after not a lot of work, you like smash through, and there is a hollow space under this section of the floor. Um, and let's see, where was that? I got this right. Oh, where was that clue that I thought was cool? Um, so yeah, what you do is you like punch through. So it was like maybe only it looks like there was like a piece of looks like there was just like a piece of wood over what seems to be like an almost circular hole in the like like circular depression in the foundation, like almost as if someone had stuck a a cylindrical frame in there and where the concrete was poured around it, and then someone had set down a like planks and just put a little bit more concrete over that. So you're able to smash through it without much difficulty at all. Um, and it looks like it opens up into looks like this was like an old cistern or maybe even a well. But yeah, there's like a hole in the ground. Um, and there's a there's kind of a foul smell that there's kind of a foul smell that comes up. Um, and I think that's when you hear the doorbell ring. Or at least, I'm sorry, not the doorbell. That's when you hear a knock from upstairs, and you hear.
Well, oh, go ahead.
And so you're looking down into this well, and it's you know, so it looks like it goes down like maybe 10 or 15 feet and ends in kind of like wet, damp earth. But there's yeah, what you smell is like rot, or like this vegetal like rotting smell. That's your clue. It's going to be a like old, partially filled well with like rotting smell.
And actually, I will mark a key of the child to find a uh another Odyssey tape. If that's cool. Or I think there's an option for you. Like I find an Odyssey tape or something else. Or is it just an Odyssey
As
tape
if
in this
to
one?
as in you're gonna mark another key to
Yeah. Bump it up to a 12
you're
plus.
gonna bump it up to a 12 plus. Let me take a look in the middle.
Yeah, you've also find an Odyssey tape, or you learn some unusual history about Nagoya County.
say yes. I don't want to take the time to like thumb through the book, but I'm going to make a mark that you definitely need to get some extra stuff, and I will let you know next session.
Yeah. And I think before the doorbell we get the knock. I think, is it okay if I just do the key? And then
Yes.
I think that like we come up from the basement, and I say, like, I don't have a lot of good memories of this place. I didn't particularly care for my family, but something I did remember, there was this young guy, a biker with red hair. I had a hell of a crush on him as a kid. And whenever he come biking down the road, shirtless, well, I always saved a few of those special memories for private time. And I give him a devilish grin. And I think you've only gotten better with age. So I think that's, if we want to cut now, that's fine.
I think that's when we're gonna. I think you say that, and maybe you're starting to lean toward each other a little bit,
Yep.
and that's when you hear the knock, 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 knock. Hey, Rye, are you in there, Rye? Meanwhile, on the doorstep, I'm just looking at time. We are rapidly approaching the end of we're rapidly approaching end of the session time. I mean, the door is unlocked. You can just walk in. Thorn and Derek.
Let's do.
And I think the two of you walk in, and I think that's probably when. So you hear Rye, you hear the knocking, and you hear your housemates like entering the house. And I think that's when. Is that when are you heading up the stairs, or?
Why would we head upstairs?
Okay, you're not. You're just hanging out down there. Going to
We
continue
can
what you're
make
doing.
out down here. Why would you want to make out in the
Well,
gross...
I didn't know if you were. I didn't know if you wanted to. I didn't know if you thought. I kind of assumed this was the sort of thing where oh damn, we've been interrupted.
No, you assume Rai has shame about that.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess maybe he's not here yet. which is shocking. I really expected him to be here.
No, I mean you open the door and Rye's there making out with this guy.
Well, no, we opened the door to the front of the
Okay.
house, not the basement.
Oh, I came up
Yeah.
from the basement. It's grody as hell down there. Remember that bad smell?
Okay,
I
so
really I had in my
Oh,
notes
okay,
like
got it.
Rye is about to make out in a skanky basement.
Okay, so you guys are upstairs. We open the door and we see you two in flagrante.
I guess how flagrante are you in?
Like, I think we've just started making out when you come in here.
Okay.
Got it.
Hey, hi, making out in a murder house. Hot.
Oh, this is Gordon. I had a lot of
I
sex
was gonna
fantasies about him when I was younger.
I was going to say
Oh.
Gordon. It's going to say Gordon looks and looks surprised at these two and like, you know these people?
Where his roommates? Do you know that you're currently making out at a residence where someone got stabbed yesterday and 5 people went missing 10 years ago?
You know, he like looks around and shrugs like, I've seen worse.
Right. Rye, can you please tell your friend that now is not the time for this? And can you send them away so we can do work?
Okay. All right, Gorbora, look, it's a thing. I'm gonna need to help them out. Because I'm kind of a key player. But how about I see you later?
Yeah, I like that. You got my number. And he walks out, and a moment later you hear the sound of a Harley engine start up and drive off. And I think the stinger here is going to be as you hear the sound of the motorcycle like leave, we cut back to the 3 of you just about to start like looking around the house. When the 3 of you see like a ghostly, the 3 of you see a child. And you've seen the photograph. The 3 of you see like Elliot Rappaport, like standing in the doorway to the dining room, just kind of like standing there looking at you. But as soon as he sees you see him, he like turns and runs down the hall.
Elliot, wait, no.
And I think that's going to be where we end it tonight. Just because that's the sort of place where a TV episode would end. So that was session.
2 episodes in a row ended with this kid running away.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, tonight's episode definitely took some turns I was not expecting. But folks have a few minutes to do some stars and wishes.
Sure.
Hey, well, I prefer to do those off camera, so I'm going to end the recording here. If anyone was actually watching this, thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in next time. Thanks.